In the bustling eastern part of Nigeria, nestled among the grand houses and expensive cars, was a prestigious secondary school known for its wealthy students. But within its walls walked a girl named Adana, whose story was vastly different from her peers. While her classmates arrived in chauffeured cars, Adana walked miles to school, her worn-out sandals a stark contrast to their polished leather shoes. Her family was poor, and life was a constant struggle. But Adana possessed a treasure far more valuable than any money could buy, an unquenchable thirst for knowledge and a spirit that refused to be broken. Every day after school, the scene was the same. While other students went home to their comfortable lives, to tutors, and to endless hours of leisure, Adana's second day was just beginning. She would quickly change out of her school uniform and join her mother, a food vendor, under the hot Nigerian sun. Balancing a tray of freshly cooked food on her head, she would navigate the busy streets, her voice ringing out, calling customers. "Buy your delicious jollof rice," she'd chant, her smile never faltering, even as her feet ached and her body grew weary. Her earnings, though meager, were crucial for her family's survival. They helped put food on their table and kept a roof over their heads. Weekends offered no rest for Adana. Instead of sleeping in or visiting friends, she would take on menial jobs around the neighborhood. She washed clothes for wealthier families, cleaned their compounds, and ran errands, all for a little extra money. Her hands, though small, became calloused and strong. Her classmates would sometimes see her and whisper amongst themselves. They couldn't understand her life. Some pitied her, some mocked her, but Adana paid them no mind. Her focus was singular, her goal clear. She knew that her current circumstances did not define her future. The biggest challenge Adana faced was her lack of resources for school. Her parents, with their limited income, could only afford a few essential textbooks. The rest, she had to borrow. She became a familiar face in the school library, carefully handling the precious books she couldn't own. She would jot down notes furiously, trying to absorb every word, every formula, every historical fact before she had to return them. Her notebooks were filled to the brim, a testament to her dedication. She treated every borrowed book like a sacred text, knowing it was her only link to the world of knowledge she so desperately wanted to be a part of. Her classmates had everything handed to them. They had private tutors to explain difficult concepts, the latest gadgets to access information, and quiet, air-conditioned rooms to study in. Adana had none of that. Her study space was a small corner of their one-room home, often lit by a flickering kerosene lamp. The sounds of the busy neighborhood, the cries of her younger siblings, the constant interruptions, these were the backdrop to her learning. Yet, it was in this challenging environment that Adana's resolve hardened. She learned to tune out the noise and create a world of her own, a world of books and dreams. The most crucial part of Adana's routine happened when the rest of the world was asleep. After a long day of school, hawking food, and completing her chores, when exhaustion threatened to overwhelm her, she would find a second wind. While her family slept soundly, Adana would light her small lamp. The quiet hours of the night were her sanctuary. This was her time. With no one to disturb her, she would pore over her notes and the few books she had. She'd read and reread, practice and revise, her mind sharp and focused in the stillness of the night. Sleep was a luxury she often sacrificed for her education. She knew that these were the hours that would make the difference. These were the hours that would build her bridge from a life of poverty to a future of promise. The school's social scene was another world entirely. It was dominated by cliques of rich kids who flaunted their wealth. They talked about the latest phones, designer clothes, and exotic holiday trips. Adana, with her faded uniform and quiet demeanor, was an outsider. She was often excluded, an invisible figure in the hallways. The sting of being different was sharp, but she didn't let it consume her. Instead of seeking their approval, she sought refuge in her studies. She understood that while their popularity was fleeting, the knowledge she was gaining would last a lifetime. Her report cards became her social currency, her academic achievements her badge of honor. Then came the day of the termly examination results. The assembly hall was buzzing with anticipation. The principal stood at the podium, a stack of papers in his hand. He called out the names for the top positions, starting from the 10th. As he got closer to the top, the tension grew. Names of the most popular and wealthiest students were called. Finally, it was time to announce the student who had come first, the overall best student in the entire school. A hush fell over the hall, and the first position, the principal announced, his voice booming, goes to Adana Okafor. A collective gasp swept through the students. Heads turned, and all eyes were on the quiet girl standing at the back. It was a moment of disbelief, followed by a wave of admiration. Adana herself was stunned. She walked to the front, her heart pounding in her chest, to receive her prize. The applause was deafening. It wasn't just for her academic victory. It was a recognition of her struggle, her perseverance, and her incredible spirit. In that moment, she was no longer the poor girl who hawked food. She was the champion, the girl who had outshone everyone through sheer hard work and determination. This incredible achievement was not a one-time event. Term after term, Adana's name was at the top of the list. Her consistency was astounding. Her story began to spread beyond the school walls, becoming a local legend. Teachers spoke of her with pride, and even the students who once mocked her now looked at her with respect. She had single-handedly changed the narrative. She proved that success was not determined by the wealth of your parents, but by the richness of your ambition and the strength of your character. One day, something extraordinary happened. A team of representatives from an international educational foundation visited the school. They had heard about the brilliant girl from a poor background who consistently topped a school of privileged children. They had come to see her for themselves. They interviewed Adana, her teachers, and her parents. They were deeply moved by her story, her humility, and her fierce intelligence. They saw in her not just a brilliant student, but a future leader, a beacon of hope. The foundation made a decision that would change Adana's life forever. They offered her a full scholarship, not just for the rest of her secondary education, but all the way through university to study any course of her choice in any university she desired. When the news was announced, Adana's mother wept tears of joy. The years of struggle, the sacrifices, the long nights, it had all been worth it. Adana was overwhelmed with gratitude. The future she had only dared to dream of was now a reality. Her hard work had not just earned her good grades. It had opened a door to a whole new world of possibilities. Adana's story is a powerful reminder that our circumstances do not have to define our destiny. It's a testament to the fact that with dedication, resilience, and an unwavering belief in oneself, it is possible to overcome any obstacle. She showed everyone that the brightest stars often shine in the darkest skies. Her journey from the dusty streets to the halls of academia is an inspiration to us all. It teaches us that the true measure of a person is not what they have, but what they do with what they have. Thank you for watching. If this story inspired you, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that uplifts and motivates.